Greetings, everyone. I am coming to you live from the beach in Costa Rica inside my beautiful Airbnb. But I didn't want to miss this opportunity to share my recent thoughts with you. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about what really goes on inside of my True Path Entrepreneur 12-month group mastermind program. So I know a lot of you have been interested in this and asking about it. And if you are reading my emails and social media, you will see that the doors are open now. There is a new cohort for my group mastermind program that is starting in January. Granted, you can really join this program at any time, but the majority of people enter this program in January at the beginning of the new year, where we start on the process together at the beginning of the new year. So if this is something you're considering, I highly encourage you to join us now and not later. And also keep in mind the price only increases as time goes on, so you want to jump in while it's super affordable. So anyways, let's get to it. So I'm here in Costa Rica because I was at my friend Marin's vocal transformation retreat a few weeks ago, and I just decided why not stay here while I'm already here, right? So, and it's beautiful and it's snowing where I live. So as part of a retreat, we worked with some sacred plant medicine in 3 different ceremonies. And when I say sacred plant medicine, I mean ayahuasca. And this is not new to me, but some things that came through these ceremonies really showed me more about how to communicate with you what really goes on inside of my containers. So I call myself a spiritual business coach. I do work with a lot of people who are on the psychedelic and sacred plant medicine path, and I do help a lot of people start and grow their psychedelic assisted coaching businesses or healing businesses or psychedelic integration coaching businesses and so on. I also just help a lot of people who are on this path, as I am, who have other kinds of businesses, healers, coaches, health and wellness, solopreneurs. It doesn't really matter. Not everyone in my containers is starting a psychedelic business. But it does happen to be a lot of people who are on this path, as well as people who are not on this path, but are on a very deep spiritual growth path as well. So I've been at this for many, many years, and I have helped a lot of people inside of my 12-month container, whether it's within my group program or private coaching. My group, though, obviously, because it's a group, there's a lot more people, and it's a different energy being held inside of a group container. And what I've noticed over the years is that this is not just about business. I mean, I've always known this, of course, but this is much deeper than you starting up your business, getting clients, and making money so that your business can totally support you and your lifestyle. Of course, that's a huge part of it as well. And I do teach you a very simple step-by-step process that helps you really understand exactly who it is you're here to serve, what it is that you're offering, how to create, price, and package your offer and sell that offer so that you get clients who say yes and you have a business that actually supports you. I have had many, many clients be able to quit their jobs, slow down to part-time, rearrange their life because their business has grown while inside of my mastermind program. This is the whole point of it, right? You want your business to be able to support you so that you don't have to work for others, so that you don't have a job that you don't like. I've also had a lot of people phase out their old business. So body workers, acupuncturists, massage therapists, people who maybe were only doing one thing that want to expand into multiple things, herbalists who then wanted to add medicine or sound healing or whatever it is. Oh my God, there's a hummingbird right there. How beautiful. Hummingbird. Anyways, but it's not just about growing your business and getting clients. It's about something much, much deeper. And it's time for me to come out and tell the truth of what goes on inside of my program. So I walk a pretty deep spiritual path. I always have for many, many years since I was a kid. That's when I had my very first moment of what I would call like the awakening, the realization, or whatever it is. Like my soul reminding me who I truly am and what I'm here to do at a very young age. I'm now in my mid 40s. So, this has been going on since, I don't know, 40 years ago, 35, 40 years ago. And I started working with medicines when I was 14 years old. And not just medicines, but pretty regularly throughout my life. And then, I also studied psychology and Buddhism, and I've been on a very exponential self-development, personal development growth path since I was probably about 18. Therapy, leadership programs, the Landmark training program, Buddhism, meditation. I could go on and on. By the way, this is all listed on my website, including many of my own teachers who I've worked with for many, many years. But I've realized what really goes on inside of my mastermind program is at a soul level. So I do believe that everybody has a soul that has come here to be born at this time in human history for a reason. Meaning, why are you incarnated right now? Why in 2021, 2022, right now, this very potent time in history where we are seeing, and it's pretty clear, I'm sure, to you that the world will never be the same again. We are going through a great time of change. It's also, this has been referred to in ancient texts for a very long time. Obviously, indigenous cultures have known about this for a while, and we are in a great turning of, it's called the Great Year, right? And we don't know exactly when it is and if this time is happening now, but we see it, right? The age of Aquarius, the shift in the way, people are waking up, the growth in meditation, yoga, plant medicine, psychedelics. I could go on and on. So in my program, it is all about coming into the alignment with your soul. What does your soul really want? What are you here to do? It's not just about making money and getting clients. Yes, that is the byproduct. And you get to really embody this and live the life that you want to live when you start to make these changes and steps towards the alignment of your soul. But here's the other thing that I've witnessed happening over the years. And I've written about this a few times in my emails and on my blog. But when you start to take these steps to make changes, to step towards what you feel like is really calling you in your heart. So I'm pointing my heart right now. I keep calling it the heart path. I do believe in this, and I do believe there is a lot of truth in it. And that is where the alignment comes from, is when you are really listening to what's going on inside of your body, your heart, and your soul. And when you start to shift towards this path of your inner truth, of what you desire, of what you want, of how you're being called to serve in the world, how you're being called to make these changes, whatever it is. It's not necessarily that you have to be of service, but it tends to be when you're on this path, the psychedelic path, the spiritual path, there is a lot of desire to be in service to others. When you've been on your own healing path, you eventually want to start giving back. So what happens is when you start to make these little steps and these little shifts, which I walk you through inside of my mastermind program in a very simple step-by-step process so that you know exactly what to do first, you know what to do next, and you're not just winging it all alone on your own, which actually, if you're doing it all on your own, it causes more confusion, more overwhelm, and more stuckness because you don't know what you're doing. But when you get the steps and you just take the steps and you start to follow the path, what happens is everything else in your life starts to align. So yesterday I had a call with one of my clients inside of my mastermind program, which, by the way, you get some private calls with me as part of my mastermind program. And she was telling me, wow, ever since I was in your program, we've had all these changes. And when I say we, she's talking about her husband, her daughter, her family. And she said, not only have I gotten clients and started to have my business take off, which is true, she's been putting herself out there. She just started this business barely even 12 months ago because it's not even been 12 months. And she's gotten clients, she's grown her business, and she's doing things that she's never done before. But she said also her husband's job started taking off. Why is this? She said, I know this has to do with me and my alignment. Why is it her husband doesn't even have his own business. He has a job job working for other people. But something shifted in him. Something shifted in her daughter. Other things started to shift in her life. that is one example of what I've seen go on for years and years. So other examples I've seen inside of my mastermind program, people manifesting their dream house, moving to a new place that they've always wanted to live. I've had clients fall in love with people, meet new partners, meet their life partner. I've had people kind of manifest these opportunities out of nowhere. One of my current clients inside of my mastermind wanted to expand her body working business into some other areas. She has studied a lot and she wanted to do more than just body work. So she started doing her other work, which some of it includes some work around psychedelics and mushrooms. And then she was also asked to be part of a leader at a nonprofit that is doing really great work for the environment and the world. And it's also involving mushrooms. No, not psilocybin, but just mushrooms. And this very much aligns with her and her heart. And she's so excited by this. And, not even whatever it was, 9-10 months ago, she joined my program. She could have never imagined this happening. These are just some examples of what really goes on. And what I'm constantly saying is this is the alignment. So very often I think of my containers as very similar to an ayahuasca ceremony. Or if you've not sat with ayahuasca, maybe think of a psilocybin ceremony. So as you know, if you've worked with either one of these plants, these ceremonies, and when I say ceremony, that's how I work with these sacred medicines. I don't do them recreationally, so I'll speak in a ceremonial context, but these plants do tend to take you up and down through waves of challenging periods and then expansive periods, challenging periods and expansive periods. Maybe during a ceremony, you go through some purging, some clearing, some purification process that feels very challenging and hard. And then you come out of it and you feel great. You feel your heart opening. You start to see visions. You have a sense of oneness with the world, with yourself, with love, with God, whatever you want to say. And, eventually by the end, you feel great. So it's these ups and downs of waves. And the energy of what goes on inside of those ceremonies is the same energy that goes on inside of my group mastermind program. So as part of the alignment of your soul into its divine path also means that some things will come to surface, just like they do in an ayahuasca ceremony. They will come to surface to be purged. Meaning, I have also seen a lot of my clients have things that don't serve them, people and situations that don't serve them go away. Meaning, they start to realize, well, that doesn't align with me. Or I just got into a big argument with a friend and I realized I don't actually like this friend. This friend's not supportive. Or, a job, they'll lose a job without even trying to, right? And it's like, well, the universe might be pulling these away from you for a reason. Here's the thing. I never tell people to quit their jobs. I actually don't believe in that. I believe in starting your business while you have income coming in so that you're not totally freaked out by having no job, because that's not good for you or your nervous system or your business. But very often people will have things blow up and things just go away. And what I really believe in is this is part of your soul wanting to align itself with your heart path. And when you come into this alignment of things and situations and people that don't serve you going away, what happens is you start to also manifest more of what does serve you, what is supporting you in your path, what is taking you to where you want to go. So this is kind of the law of nature. When you create space in your life, meaning all of a sudden you don't have interest in something anymore, or maybe something you weren't liking anyways, you realize I don't have time for that, or I don't want to put my energy there. What happens is then you start to get more aligned with what you do want to put your energy towards, with what you do want to be doing, with the kind of people you do want to hang out with, the people that are supporting you in your path. So this is where my container of my group mastermind program very often reminds me of these ups and downs, these expansions and contractions that you also feel while working with ayahuasca, that you feel while working with sacred mushrooms. I could talk about some other medicines, but honestly, those two are the best examples because, they tend to be longer than, let's say, doing DMT toad medicine or something like that, where it's just up and then down. very quick, or up and then up and whoosh. But when you're in something like a ceremony where you go through the waves of the challenges and the purges and then the expansion and the heart opening, this is the same thing that happens inside of my programs. And what I've seen over the years is all of this coincides with you then growing your business, with you then calling in more and more clients, more and more opportunities. I have a client in my group mastermind program now who has been experiencing the craziest synchronicities and magic. She has the weirdest stories. And of course, when you're on this path of alignment, the weird is not weird anymore, meaning she asked to see a rainbow and she saw 2 rainbows in a day. No big deal. But this is the alignment. This is when you're in that soul-centered path of following those golden nuggets that are really leading you on your path, while also having the support of learning how to take steps the right way so that you effectively, easily grow your business and get clients so that you can actually serve on a higher level. This is where I'm constantly saying inside of my group mastermind and actually all of my programs, I really believe in holding both the masculine and feminine energies of having someone, me, to guide you through the steps so that you know exactly what to do first. You just follow the steps and voila, you get results. But also being really connected to your heart, to your soul, to this path of really feeling into what is it that I want to be doing now? What is next? Where's the joy and the inspiration calling me the most? And you have to keep in mind that your soul and whatever you believe in as the higher power, the universe, God, whatever it is, the great creator, it wants you to be happy. It wants you to be taken care of. It wants you to be abundant. And yes, it also wants you to go through some lessons and initiations and challenges, because that is the only way your soul and your life will evolve and grow. Think back on your life to every challenging time that you've ever gone through. And I know you've gone through them. Every human on this planet has. There's no person out there that has had a perfect life with no challenges. But just think about every time you've faced a big hurdle or a challenge or an initiation in your life, and think back to what happened when you came out of it. What happened? There was probably nothing but expansion and lessons and spiritual growth and personal growth and evolution. And that is what goes on inside of my group mastermind, which then also aligns with the clients coming in, the money coming in, the abundance coming in, the dream house, the dream partner, the dream, opportunity, being asked to be on podcasts, being asked to do talks, having your audience grow, showing up as a leader. I could go on and on, but I've seen this happen for years and years and years. And it's time that I come out and talk about the truth of what really goes on when you start to align with your purpose and have someone holding you in this container. Because I'm telling you, when you do it alone, it's hard. It's hard. And not only that, you end up wasting a lot of time and energy just being lost and stuck and overwhelmed. So that's the whole point of working with a coach or inside of a group program like mine, is that you're held and guided and supported through these challenging times and through the expansion so that you know exactly what to do and you're not stuck or overwhelmed or feeling like an imposter, and you have someone helping you get past yourself, get past your limiting beliefs, get past all those doubts and those fears that you might have. It is so much easier when you get support. And I highly encourage you to check out my group mastermind program. It's an incredible program. I'm not just saying this because it's my own program, but really you can go look at all the testimonials on my website. There's also going to be some videos out there. I'm also going to be interviewing some clients on my podcast very soon. And you can hear the stories from firsthand people who've gotten their first, second, third, fourth, and so on clients and grown their business in under 12 months. And within those 12 months, you are set up so that you have a business that fully supports you from this day forward. That's the whole point. To be supported from now in the future. It's not just about right now, it's about where you're going in a few years. So this program sets you up to have a sustainable business that gives you long-term sustainable income and supports you from here into the future so that you can really show up and serve and be a leader in this world. We need you. We need your help. The world is asking for you. It's time. Please reach out if you need anything or have any questions about the group mastermind program. You can book a call with me and apply to learn more. And I hope to see you there. Lots of love, and I will see you next Tuesday.